Okay, so good morning everybody and welcome to the first ever House of Balance event. We're really excited to have you here. My name's Tiffany Kelly and I'm one of the co-founders of Phoenix 17, amongst many other things including the House of Balance. I'm really excited to be here with you all. And before I tell you anything about why we're here and what we're doing and why we scrambled to create something so brilliant in such a short amount of time, just a couple of housekeeping things for you. So first of all, please spread the word. We haven't had long to get the word out there in terms of what we're doing here, so please, when you're out and about meeting people, encourage them to come here into this beautiful sanctuary that we've created, which is a very different energy from everything else that I've experienced so far out there. We don't actually probably need microphones, but because we are recording on our device here, we're going to be using them, and please ask you not to make any noise or chat while the speakers are speaking so that we can have as clear audio as possible. In addition to this, each of you will have one of these on your seat. If you don't, then they will be found on the sides there. Please use these to write down any suggestions, commitments to actions, things that you might want to do with us. And then there's a QR code on the back. So if you scan that, that gives you a place to register to become a member of what we're doing with House of Balance. And we can use that to connect you with events and other members and to share all of the speaker videos, etc. So please feel free to take them away with you if you want to, but make sure that you scan and register. Okay, so just in terms of opening, so why are we doing this? Who am I? So I have dedicated my career really to bringing into the balance masculine and feminine. So I really want to personally change up the narrative for fighting for the empowerment of women to instead demonstrating the power of the feminine for humanity. And I really believe that if we want to make global culture change happen, then we have to understand that it's bringing this feminine and masculine into balance. And people think that feminine is female and masculine is male, and it's not, it's genderless. So every single human being needs to have masculine and feminine in them. Masculine is self, it's everything that you need for you, and feminine is other, and it's everything that is external and to do with everyone else. And we live in a very patriarchal, masculine world, which is very focused on self. And I believe that if we can bring the feminine into balance and also think about community, collaboration, change, connectivity, which are the themes of the immersive experiences we're doing tomorrow, that we can really collectively come together and make something very different happen. And I think it's really time for that culture change to happen in the world. So, in terms of the House of Balance, I'm going to let these three introduce that to you in their own ways. But just to let you know, we did pull this together at very short notice. I think we had 3.5 weeks. And we've got an amazing lineup today of speakers, of panelists, of really inspirational activations. So as long as you can be here, please do. And also the next 2 days, we're doing immersive experiences as well. And as I said, we'll be sharing the video clips afterwards anyway. So anything you miss, we'll direct you in the right place if you scan the QR code and sign up. So we've got three of the founders here. So we've got Francois, Harnsongkram, and Tiff. And Tiff's Tiff because I'm Tiffany, so it's a bit confusing for everyone. So we're the two Tiffany's. And I'm going to let them, in their own way, speak from the heart and talk to who they are and why they're here and why they believe the House of Balance is so important. And just quickly, just to add to that, our intention is to make this something that we do in more locations and on a regular basis as something to really get people thinking in a different way about that alignment of feminine and masculine. So you're going to go first, Tiff?
I will. So thank you all for being here. And you know, we were having this conversation over the last year, actually, partly because of the Wild Lounge, just a women's group where I met Helena and Tiffany, and talking about the struggles that women are having. First of all, you know, in this space where they're trying to reconnect with their feminine because they've put some aside with the thought that, you know, we have to put our feminine aside in order to succeed in the world, to really, you know, kind of man up and get in there and win. And it was hurting the women in there, but also seeing that men were struggling too with the over masculinization of society, emotionally hurting the suicide rates of men, the ways that it was difficult to open up and connect with people. And so seeing this imbalance and having conversations, trying to sort this out, what is going on, how can we as women kind of step into the embracing of the masculine within so that we can actually advocate for ourselves, and so that we can be more confident in a boardroom or asking for a higher salary while not rejecting that part or not villainizing that part of ourselves, but also being very comfortable and being very confident, showing up in our full feminine self, in our softness, in our emotional wholeness. And so these conversations were ongoing, and I had one with Francois that kind of sparked this idea, but this conversation I love to have ongoing with you all. And speaking from a personal perspective, I know that the most development that I had to do was because I had been blocking parts of myself off, and some of them masculine parts, some of them feminine parts, but I had to get out of my own way. So taking a look inside of ourselves and seeing which parts of ourselves we've blocked off, I think is so important to our own rising, our own ability to connect with one another. And I'm so in love with these humans on here, even though we've just now met in person. But it's just amazing what we can do when we are embracing ourselves, when we're embracing each other fully.
And I think just to that point, Tiff, it's about coming together in a way that's really authentic and honest. Yeah. So what is unique for every single individual, and looking at this as something that's for human beings in terms of us collectively rising up and building the consciousness evolution. Yeah. Thank you.
And in huge gratitude to these men, not only these two men, but so many men that have rallied around this concept and idea. I mean, at this point, I believe we have more men supporters than women supporters, because it's just, I think we all need this.
Thank you so much. To be honest with you, it's a really great honor to be with you here today and to open this House of Balance with you together. What we did in this morning was we were planting 5 trees behind the house, and these are symbolic trees will be the growth of something new here, which it starts here in Davos. It should be a new environment. If you go just a few streets down here, you see a completely different world. And with this House of Balance, we just want to bring in new aspects of energy, to bring actually a pure energy back into Davos as it was maybe 120 years ago, when my grandfather came here as a pioneer. And we are all pioneers. We are pioneers of a new exploring world. And therefore, Tiffany was asking me to write down a bio, and I said no. It comes from the heart. Forget about my bio. It's this is chemical, It's everybody can say I'm a CEO and I've built up this company, blah blah blah, and so and so. Yeah, it's nice, but it's the real sense. What is the purpose of life? Why we are here? Yeah. Did you ask these questions yourself? And I think this is why we come together here on a new environment, on a new kind of energy, let's say energy level, which we come all towards a new growing process, all of us. I mean, it's a really, really small plant, which we are just planting now. We are the few, yeah? But we are many.
We'll become the many.
We become the many, exactly. So, and therefore, if you want to know more about me, you can go and look on LinkedIn or whatever. So this is, the only thing what I say is to have a place like this in peace and harmony. You look out the trees here with full in bloom. Is that not amazing to have that? Instead of having all these concrete stuffs and all this kind of business tools which most people carry around. So that's why much gratitude. Thank you so much for learning from all of you, and yeah, let's be ready for a new start.
Thank you, Hans Martin. And thank you for hosting us. And just to speak briefly to what Hans Martin was saying there, the feminine coming into balance is also about symbiosis, right? So we've created a parasitic way of being on this planet, which is very masculine. And if we can bring the feminine and masculine to balance, that we're also looking at being more symbiotic. And I think that what we did this morning was a great symbolism, the planting of the trees, in terms of understanding that we're stewards on this planet, and that everybody talks about sustainability, but to sustain means to do no more harm. And we've got to go beyond that and restore and rejuvenate. And I think the House of Balance and the work we're doing is all working towards that as well. So thanks, Hans Martin. That's one.
Hi, everybody. We live in a very dichotomous... Oh, there you go, that helps. So we live in a very dichotomous world. Best example was, I was on a train yesterday coming from Zurich to Davos, full train, completely full. And behind me are 4 people. One who works for a cybersecurity firm, right? No surprise there. 3 people who work for NGOs, and I'm listening to the conversation, and the NGO guys are talking about how they're here for brand recognition. I'm like, why are we using corporate terms such as brand recognition, marketing, to qualify something that should be good? And then at the same time, I'm talking about House of Balance, and Gary there is next to me goes, oh, you're going to the House of Balance? I'm going to the House of Balance. And we ended up sleeping here last night. And out of all these people, we just ended up sitting right next to each other, right? So I love the synchronicity of how our energy found each other. And that's kind of the cosmic internet that you will see everywhere, written everywhere here. What gives me hope in the future is I've just spent 2 weeks in Miami working with a lot of family offices, going to conferences. I was in Dubai last week, and I'm talking to one group of 60 families that are worth by 2 trillion combined, and then in Dubai with some advisors to the rulers of Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, and I'm having exactly the same conversations, which is all about, we have everything, we need to give back, because ultimately there's not going to be enough water for all of us, there's not going to be enough food for all of us. We need to change the way we do business. And this came on the tail end of conversation that I've been having with Tiffany, exactly around the subject of men and women. I was getting very frustrated with using those terms because it was very aggressive. It didn't foster a very positive narrative. And so we started talking feminine and masculine. I'm not going to say what the tipping point was and the conversation I had in America around that. Let's just say it involves the B word and not used by me, but by a woman. So that's when I called Tiffany and said, okay, we got to do something, enough. This has gone too far now. And it all just fell into place. I'd met Hans Martin last year when I was here for the winter, when Davos was supposed to happen in January. We became very good friends. Tiffany and I had tons of conversation. And it's time to bring everybody together. Otherwise, all we have is a bunch of kitchen experiments. And as long as we're siloed, our voices are muffled, and it's easy to divide to better conquer, right? Caesar said it many centuries ago. It is still true today. The more we come together, which is what we did, and to see what we're able to pull off in 3 weeks, and incredibly easily, people just jumped on board. People were writing to us saying, I heard about what you're doing, we want to be a part of this. We didn't have to reach out to anyone, people came to us. And so please reach out to us. The more we do together, the more we can build. I'm not going to use a new world. I don't believe in new worlds, I don't believe in creating metaverses. I believe in fixing the world we have. It's a beautiful world with beautiful humans. We just need to do a couple of changes and we'll be on track to a much, much better humanity.
So a new way of being on this world, on this planet. And also, just to let you know, our intention is for there to be plenty of follow-up. So we don't just want to come here and have conversations, which happens at a lot of conferences and summits, plenty that I've been to. There is going to be a so what after this. So that's why we've got the following 2 days for immersive workshops to commit to action. And we are going to be coming up with projects and supporting projects that we believe move towards that cause. And there's going to be some exciting new organisations that are unveiled with funds behind them, and we can talk to you about that separately. But just to let you know, we are intending to take real action here and to make a real difference and to make change happen and to be here bigger, better and bolder next year as well. So thanks very much, guys, and we'll move on to the next panel.
Okay.
Thank you very much.